Hello everybody, welcome to Cape Rugby TV. It's Wednesday night, nice to have you along, and of course we bring you the very best of what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. And heavens above knows, certainly it's rugby action. It is now starting on all sorts of levels. International rugby is rolling out, regional rugby is rolling out, sevens rugby continues, it's social rugby, of course, at the Cape Town 10s, not to mention the fact that amateur rugby is probably taking the front seat in all of it. We catch up this with the events over the weekend. Of course, it was the Cape Town 10s. The Club to Vodacom guys, otherwise known as the Western Province Emerging side, they took on Boland at the Cape Town Stadium. The Stormers took on Boland at the Cape Town Stadium as well. That was a good result. It was, of course, the South African Rugby Awards. When was that? That was on Monday night, so a lot of activity there. Not to mention the fact then, of course, that the Community Challenge is about to get rolling. Of course, you would have seen last week the launch of the Community Challenge. That's extremely exciting, so we're looking forward to that. Right. Okay, so on the show this evening, and of course going to help me stay in touch with what's happening in the world of rugby, in order of protocol on my right-hand side, and the man with the trophy as well, the president of Western Province Rugby, Mr. Tello Wakefield. Mr. Wakefield, nice to have you back on the show, finally this year.
Thank you, JP, and thank you for having me.
Dis nou, ons wag al 'n hele jaar vir jou. Jy's al besig met baie dinge deesdae, né?
Ja, daar is baie dinge om aan aandag te gee, en as jy wil seker maak dinge loop reg, dan is daar nie tyd nie.
No, there's next tyd. There's not enough time in the day, ever. But we've got a lot of things we need to talk to you about tonight. We're going to get clarity on a whole bunch of things. Of course, there was the SA Rugby Awards on Sunday. Is it Sunday?
Sunday evening, yes.
Sunday evening, and we want to find out what happened there. I think Western Province had a good showing. But also on the panel with me this evening, and on his right, Lyndon Julies, all the way from St. George's. Actually, you pronk lekker met your St. George's Lula Boys outfit, ne?
Yeah, good evening, JP. Good evening to all the viewers out there. Yeah, when I got here, my show, Cape Rugby Show T-shirt was hijacked. So
it was
hijacked. Let's call it hijacked, yeah. So.
But Sharky, yeah, your counterpart.
Well, that explains his name, so I guess.
Yeah, he's a shark. He rocked up here with a stripy shirt on, much looking like a shark. Sean Lawford, otherwise known as Judge Rugby. Nice to have you on the show this evening.
Good, thanks very much for having me. Apologies.
So listen, quickly, where's all the skin gone?
Well, I didn't partake in the first rule of Cape Town 10s, and that is to wear sunscreen and look after yourself, and I got punished. It was a good few days in the sun, but didn't look after myself, so
nothing but a jaw out of the Cape Town 10s. Okay, we're going to catch up with that in a second, folks. Of course, this weekend it was the inaugural launch of call it the Super Rugby season in Boland and Western Province. So at least the Stormers have this interrelationship. Get the ball rolling just before the Super 15 kicks off. It's been a friendly that's been going on for quite a while now. I remember that first at the Cape Town Stadium many years ago when we had the legends out there at the same time. So the Stormers up against Boland over the weekend. But just before that, the game that we focused on was the Club to Vodacom squad who took on the Boland 15. Mr. Wakefield, it's not the Club to Vodacom squad now. That was the squad. Now it's the emerging...
Yeah, it is called the Emerging Western Province team. We do believe that we have enough talent in that team to make it to the top.
Okay. So those are your boys, those are your club guys now that are starting to come through the ranks?
Yeah, they are on a special program at the HPC.
Yeah.
Jerome is looking after them, and they're doing very well. Yeah,
we've been managing to watch them, their progress since last year. I think Jerome's really got them under the fire. Anyway, let's catch up with the highlights there. Score 57-22 to the Emerging Western Province side. Let's see some of the action. Well, that certainly looked like the guys were getting their boots rolling there. 57, what was the score there? It was 57-22, Western Province emerging side beating the Boerland the guys. Mr. Wakefield, those Boerland players, are most of them from club rugby, or are they sort of an emerging Boerland team, or how do they work?
I don't know what their setup is, JP, where they come from. All I know it's a Boerland team.
Unless those funny Boerland, sir.
Yeah, and they come from all over the show. It's a big union.
Yeah.
Our guys are from the club rugby ranks, and I'm very glad to say that they've made it to the top, or they are nearly there. We just need to look after them.
But this is the plan, eh? This is the plan, that you bring guys from school level through to high school level. From there, they go to a club. From a club, you start building the depth. So that you got, I mean, that's why we won the Currie Cup, because we've got more depth than anybody else.
Yeah, there's a good structure that that we have with schoolboy rugby. You go to the institute, and from there, under 19s, under 21s, Vodacom, Currie Cup, Stormers. But with the club rugby guys, we have a club to Vodacom, straight through to the Vodacom team, because they have the experience. All they need to do is to take that step up, you know.
And then some of those guys will hopefully make it into the Stormer squad, won't they?
Yeah, I'd like to see them there. It's amazing the experience that we have in the the talent that we have on display, and I can tell you they can make it to the top.
Yeah. Lyndon, what did you think? You saw the running action there?
Yeah, I think the Jerome and the guys at the HPC, you can definitely see that these guys are on another level than your average club rugby player. Also, they are pushing on towards professionalism. So I think that's what these club players make of it. I think the union provides them with all of these resources. So I think they're definitely one or two of them.
Did you have to give up any St. George's guys to go play in the Vodacom? Did you guys?
No, we have none of them there. So they must be then the best of the best. So
the best of the best of the best.
Because the best of the best, yeah.
And the best of the best of the best.
Yeah.
Sharky, any Hamilton's boys make it in there?
Yeah, Shane Vallender at Flav, I know he played and he snuck a little instep pass there. Yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see the guys coming through, the club guys pushing up into sort of the provincial side. I know that last year it was the amateurs, and now they're moving in through to the Western Province side, and they start pushing it forward. It's great that there's a step up.
Well, hopefully we'll see him in a lot more action. I know that Shane Vallender is one of the highlight guys there. We managed to catch up Jerome Parvat, who's been doing all the good work behind the scenes. We've had Jerome on the show a couple of times now, talking about the progression of the Club to Vodacom squad. Really have got their act together in terms of hitting the gym. I know that they're at the HPC, the High Performance Centre, on a Monday and on a Wednesday. They've got their nutrition program sorted out. They've got their gym program sorted out. Of course, lots of running rugby there. So things are really looking on track for the club rugby players being fast-tracked into Vodacom squad, which is fantastic. Let's catch up now with Jerome Parvater, head of amateur rugby at the High Performance Centre.
Yeah, the team is basically selected out of club players. It's called Club to Vodacom. So it's an opportunity for club guys. And we've been working last year. We've had a 6 weeks conditioning program. And we've been busy now since January. We've been busy again with the guys. So in total, we close to 2 months, 2.5 months that we've been busy with the conditioning. And also we could give the guys supplements, which was very good. And yeah, so we can just build on that, and it's normal club players. So I think the clubs out there, or people can see, if you just follow your conditioning program and do your things, it's a step in the right direction. So I hope clubs will follow the same example as what we've done with these guys. I think the water breaks help, and it helped that we basically had two teams here, which was very good. So one team played 20 minutes, then come off, and the next team played 20 minutes. So each team basically played 40 minutes, but it was really good. And I think we've done the off-season program really worked. The guys worked hard, so we could see at the end the conditioning kicked in, and yeah, Boerland couldn't stop the guys at the end. As I said now, I think the conditioning and also the skill level of the guys was too much for Boerland, and guys were pretty solid on defense, and yeah, and our mauling, the drives were very good. Stuff that we can work on. They've got few games left, so yeah, there's a few things that we can work on.
Nice talking to Jerome Pardevar. They're a little bit different at the Cape Town Stadium. We normally see Jerome either on the show or we see him at the High Performance Centre or somewhere at Newlands or on the side of a rugby field. But this time it's the Cape Town Stadium. Mr. Wakefield, the difference between playing at a Newlands or a club and going to the Cape Town Stadium, I mean, we also now know, I mean, we haven't had you on the show now for a while, but we now know that Newlands, Western Province will be staying at Newlands, not moving to the Cape Town Stadium. But playing at the Cape Town Stadium on the day, it looked like the Oaks had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's just a normal fixture, you know.
Yeah.
The Cape Town Stadium is just another venue. But Newlands will remain our home.
Okay, that has now been settled. We don't have to worry about reading any more nonsense in the newspapers.
That's gone. It's
That's finished.
past,
Okay,
yeah.
so Western Province stays at Newlands, which for me is pretty cool. I mean, I know that there's lots of pros and cons in that, but I love the fact that we can walk around saying that Western Province plays at the oldest rugby stadium in the world. You can't beat that. Instead of saying we're playing at the newest rugby stadium in the world.
I need to emphasize. I like the headlines of Die Burger the next morning. Ek is klaar gepraat. And that's it.
Okay, well now there's no more rumours. There's no more running around, which is fantastic. Just on this amateur rugby side here, this Club to Vodacom thing, they play in the emerging Western Province side, and after this, the guys obviously go to play against other. Last year they did. They played against other emerging provinces club side. There was a rumor that one stage that tournament was going to be scrapped and that there was not going to be any more amateur competitions. I believe that's back on now.
Yeah, it wasn't a rumor, it was fact actually, because SARU just informed us on the 9th of December last year at a meeting that there won't be any amateur competitions, and we then put up a hell of a fight with SARU.
Did they say why?
Well, they said they're going to concentrate on women's rugby, and it's not important for them. But then I remarked that having a competition like this is important for us.
But then where's the amateur rugby competitive side?
We need to create opportunities.
Because it's definitely not the Community Cup. The Community Cup's only got 2 teams in it.
You know, just to take you behind the scenes,
yeah.
They're spending a hell of a lot of money to take some of the presidents to the World Cup.
Right.
And we said we dare the presidents to give that money back, or ask SARU not to spend that money on them.
Are we talking about the same presidents now? Give it back, give it back, give it back.
Yeah.
Did you have a red hard hat on when you asked? We're overall aangetrek.
Ja, wat ons toe gesê het, in plaas van die president na die wêreldbeker toe neem, vat hy geld en maak 'n kompetisie waar ons amateurspelers kan speel. So luckily they decided, and yesterday they made the announcement that there will be a competition for our guys.
Good stuff, fantastic stuff. So the amateur rugby competition continues for the various provinces play against each other. I think that this is critically important because otherwise we end up with only one club or 2 clubs playing, and all the other thousands and thousands of amateur rugby players can't get their boots in gear, so to speak. Lyndon, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think as Mr. Wakefield rightly pointed out, there's a huge void if you take away the amateur side or the amateur competition, because you have a club rugby player, and I spoke with Sharky during the break. There's a huge gap for one guy that the only tool or resource he has is his rugby, and if he can't showcase that, he can't really have the chance to afford him to show that he can play Vodacom rugby. I mean, that's the next step for a club rugby player. A guy playing in the Super League A, the only real thing for the club there would be either Community Cup or Community Challenge. But for a player, I mean, you've reached a peak of your union, Super League A, so where else do you go?
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why the Community Challenge is quite like an initiative.
Vodacom Cup is the next step for a player individually, so I think this emerging or amateur going into emerging Club to Vodacom side that Jerome and the guys have come up with is a brilliant idea.
So let me just, I'm going to bring Sharky into this. I mean, Sharky, you're quite an aficionado on European rugby, which is all club rugby. Club rugby that is almost like a province, but it's a club, or a region or a district that's a club, and then they compete for the national title. This is a similar scenario.
Yes, it's the nice thing is it's just bridging the gap, and I think that's the most important thing is making sure that that step up is not too big, because you could have someone that is talented but slightly inexperienced, and when they take that step up, they get blown out of the water, and it affects many people, the coaches, the decision makers that put them there, and also the players' confidence. So to reduce that jump a little bit and allow the guys to ease into it will make for better players in the future.
But also from a development point of view, Mr. Wakefield, if we don't, I mean, you look at Western Province, you've got 15,000 players here. You need as many competitions as possible, which what I quite liked about the change of the format last year. Instead of it just being 5 months of rugby and then it was start and finish, now we've got the community challenge, we've got the club rugby during the league season, which goes to knockout phase, we go to the commission, at least to the president's challenge. With so many players, you need to you need more events, you need more activity. Otherwise, it just comes and you go away for 6 months, you come back again. And you need more activity to sort of spread the game, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that if we call the team an emerging team, we need to create opportunities for them.
For them to emerge.
Definitely. And the one tournament that they will have out in Saldanha Bay is not enough.
Yeah,
as a union, we need to sort of create that opportunity, ask SWD to come to the party, even the Kings.
Yeah.
Ask them to come to the party and have a nice competition.
But isn't this also a question is that if SARU don't support these initiatives, then you're going to end up with breakaway structures?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know? Yeah. I mean, if I want to
we need to find the sponsors sort of, to assist us financially, because it costs us a bit. So we need to do that. We need to create opportunities. If we don't create opportunities, people will get nowhere.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's exactly what it's supposed to be. But if people are getting in the way of creating opportunities, then people tend to find solutions on their own. And then there's a struggle, a fight afterwards that you shouldn't be this and you shouldn't own that. Well, then it's your own palaver. Now, the boy who's managed to come through the ranks there, and we spoke about him earlier on, the captain of the Western Province emerging side, Shane Valander, or Valander at least, playing for Hamilton's at the moment. He had a fantastic day in that match against Boland. Let's catch up now with Shane Valander.
It was quite hot out there, but it was exciting. Playing in the Cape Town Stadium for the first time for most of the guys, and it was exciting, very hot, and it was enjoyable playing running rugby where we weren't afraid to try new things, and I think we were rewarded with some great tries. Not well, to be honest, yeah, maybe it has, but you know what, running rugby is enjoyable. The old setting up phases and things like that, I think is getting a bit boring now. But I mean, I think a lot of like you say, the club level rugby, varsity cups, community cups, everybody wants to play running rugby, and you know it's exciting, and that's what I think people want to watch is exciting rugby. Today was playing in the stadium as well as playing for Western Province and playing against Boland, who is a big rival as well, and also just to, like you said, just play exciting rugby was awesome.
Shane Valander looking very happy there, talking about a lot of running rugby. Apparently a Fish boy, so congratulations to the guys at Fish Senior High School who managed to bring out some talent. Let's quickly look at some of the other players from the Vodacom training squad that made it into the Western Province emerging side that have now been picked for the Vodacom Cup. Charlton van Rensburg from Tigerberg, Ryan Germoses from Villagers, Lubobalo Kuluba from Young Peoples, and Ruan Vermaak from Union Mill. The name that just jumps out for me there is Ryan Germoses, who put in that little grubber against Solarians, at Villagers. What a game! That
was the win. That grubber score was the result or the precursor of the try, which in the end won them the league. So I think Ryan is going to cherish that video clip for quite some years to come.
Mr. Wakefield, I see the guys are playing in the DHL strip, in the Western Province strip. They are now proper disers.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I comment on that, I just want to tell you that looking at that screen that you put up now, I felt very proud because it's club guys coming through to the Vodacom side, and the clubs next to their names, we are achieving something. Coming back to the full dizer, we took that decision last year. At first, you will recall that if you don't play in a senior Western Province side, you get the half a dizer. And if you
what exactly is half a dizer? Is that now a dizer that's actually like being cut in half? Is it the half?
Well,
which way do they cut the dizer? Do they cut it this way or?
I've never seen a half a flower. so we decided that we're going to do away with this half a dizer. Klagebrat, yeah, on that we don't want guys to say that, look what we're playing for.
Yeah.
Even the little schoolboy representing Western Province in the under-13 Craven Week, we give him a tie, that's about it. And after a few months, you will find his father wearing the tie. So we give him a cap and the full dizer on it. And a tie with a full dizer. That's very important for us. The club players will receive the full dizer. We regard them as full-blooded sort of Western.
But I love the fact that now, if you look so many, a couple, 5 years ago, the guys were saying, oh, there's no point, you never make it into Western Province. So there's different levels of Western Province, and these guys have made it into Western Province.
Absolutely, absolutely. At least they don't need to tell a lie. They can say, look at you, I have the bewijs that I played there,
All right, then, folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Cape Town 10s, the Community Cup fixtures, as well as the Community Challenge fixtures. Remember, a little bit later in the show as well, you'll have an opportunity to win yourself a 250 Rand meal voucher to Vasco Tavern. We'll be back with you after the break. Welcome back, everybody. Yes, Cape Rugby TV. Right, there's here behind me, the Vasco Tavern. You want to win yourself a lekker dinner for two at, well, as much as you want, at least, but a dinner to the value of 250 Rand. Then all you need to do is SMS the word Vasco. You see it on your screen right now. SMS the word Vasco to 33280 and you win yourself a 250 Rand meal voucher to the Vasco Tavern. It's a lekker little Portuguese restaurant out there in the waterfront or Greenpoint area, and just there at the Victoria Junction space, a fantastic little Portuguese tavern. In fact, it's now become so popular that a lot of the legends of going out there. In fact, I think that the Vodacom club guys went there for dinner, or at least lunch on Friday. So it's becoming a lekker little spot, the Vasco Tavern. Not becoming a lekker little spot. It's been around for not hundreds of years, but it's been around since the days of Vasco da Gama. The Cape Town 10s, of course, was happening over the weekend. What an incredible institution of rugby. This has become certainly probably the biggest rugby event from a social perspective, I suppose, in the world. I don't know, Sharky, would you agree?
It's the biggest 10s tournament in the world.
Biggest 10s tournament in the world, yeah.
Comfortably, I think, and it doesn't look like it's slowing down in any way, shape, or form. It's definitely moving forward.
From what I understand, there are 150,000 people through the gate.
Oh, I don't know.
Not that many?
No.
Over 3 days?
Possibly, I heard numbers. There was about 24,000.
Okay.
I don't know about 150.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Feels like it sometimes.
Someone must have told a lie.
Yeah.
Mr. Wakefield, I ons kan aan die biere wegsit by daai tournament.
Yeah, JP.
Toe maar los dit maar daar so.
I'm not a beer drinker, but I was there on Saturday afternoon and I was quite surprised by the amount of beer people can consume.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And
Quite
I
unbelievable.
told one of your staff members earlier, it's the youth.
Die youngstes. Dis the Lyndon Julies of the world. Die ouens wat so die bier kan weggooi, né?
No. I was working at that tournament.
You were working?
Yeah, I was working.
All right, we managed to catch up with Christian Cullen. He was also working sort of in his social capacity. The legend, Christian Cullen. Let's see what he has to say about the Cape Town 10s.
Oh, it's good to be back, mate. I haven't been here for a long time, so yeah, the weather's been great. The social aspect's been great. I mean, this is a massive first time here for me in this 10s tournament, so it's yeah, it's been good fun. Oh look, maybe not the rugby because I haven't played in 5 or 10 years, but I think just catching up with some of the boys you used to play against, and just seeing everybody here supporting the day. I mean, it's there's a lot of fun, so it's good times. Yeah, I'd like to say unfortunately we're in the final, so we've got one more game to go. So yeah, we'll battle through, but we've Carlos turned up today and turned on a bit of magic, so yeah, the final's going to be a bit tougher. Well, he has to, because there's a lot of us that are struggling to run, so he's the only guy that looks fit enough. Like, I'll tell you what, you lose it quick, man. You can go to the gym and be fit in the gym, but contact and running around, that goes. You lose that pretty quickly, so yeah, that's been the battle.
All right, so what do we know about Christian Cullen? Sharky.
Well, he hasn't played in 10 years, as he so mentioned, but we're just chatting now and saying that he hasn't got into treadmill, what is it, about 2 weeks before the tournament?
Yeah.
So I think he's been living the good life.
Well, he looks like he's in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty lean.
Yeah, he does. He's got a couple of businesses that he's running now, so I think it's family time and you pick up from these guys. They've they've given so much to rugby, to the game of rugby, that I think some of them, once they hung up their boots, they want to go back. But I think he was convinced by the organizer of the event to join up, for a bit of status.
Well, I tell you, they look after the guys when they come here. From a VIP point of view, Mr. Wakefield, did they look after you at the tents?
No, I got there,
You don't have to get rondgesleep.
just when they unannounced, when I stood there on the side, I'm sick and tired of people coming up to say, could I take you for a drink or whatever? That's not my scene.
Yeah.
I was watching.
Then you went to the wrong place.
Yeah. I was watching the game, Hamilton's against the Ikeys, and it was very
Premier final.
Very entertaining game, I must say.
Yes. Yeah.
Hamilton's won that game, right?
Yes.
Won the tens.
Won it. The Premier Division was quite interesting that all teams played each other and the top 2 played in the final. So there was Hammies and
So of course Hamilton's had
UCT.
home ground advantage.
Yeah, 5-0 win is a bit of a scrape, and but a very entertaining game of rugby that was very impressive. Yeah.
But I think you must admit that it could have gone anyway.
Agree totally.
If Ike scored under the post, they converted that try, they would have been the winners.
No,
of
for
the
sure,
day.
it was very tight. It was,
It was
definitely
very
fitting of the tournament over the past 2 days. It was pretty close.
And I think the defense of Hamilton's was very, very good.
Yeah, they
carried
stuck
you
it out.
through.
You see UCT, but historically send the ball wide and have good runs and stuff like that. So your defense has got to be quite sound. So it was good to see.
All right then. I love the fact that we're having for once I can sit back and you guys could just talk rugby.
But not for long, and then you just jump in. Yeah.
But no, but it really is. That's what this panel is coming to now, and that's what we're looking for. Is it's not just JP doing the talking, and so this conversation stuff is what we need. We want to actually let Biggie gesels.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for. You said what you were looking for. You're gonna have guys contact you tomorrow or later tonight and asking you for, can ik opkom, waar kan ik apply? So
yeah, but that I know. I mean, you applied for a couple of years before you cracked it on.
Why gotta see our secret now, JP?
We end up with presenters here who think that Wales are going to win the World Cup.
Let's not go there.
Mr. Wakefield, you know that when we asked him about who's going to win the World Cup, he came up with Wales.
Is it?
Wallis.
Wait, it could be right.
Here we go. I've got another one. Thanks, Mr. Wakefield.
Not both of you, please.
Before this weekend, I probably would have agreed with you, but after Friday night, it was,
what happened Friday night?
Well, I got beaten by England, but
of course, yeah. For Six Nations, right? Yeah, you see, international rugby back on, it's going already strong. Anyway, back to the Cape Town Tens now. Another legend who managed to put in the stripes for not only for South Africa but also for Western Province and the Stormers for many, many years. Bola Conradi is a legend now. Let's catch up with Bola at the Cape Town Tens.
That was quite tough yesterday, the first game, and this morning the first game was quite tough. But luckily we came through. We in the final against the SA Legends. Yeah, it's quite nice to play for the South, but the guys are still physical and the guys still doing their job. They're gonna give their best on the field. You met some people, see people like over the years you don't see people, but it's just a good place and a good environment. We have a good set. Me and Carlos was the charity event 2 years ago in Dubai for fighting or boxing. So we have a good set and a good love after. It's still good. I think it's still good. I think so. I think so. So still good. I try to keep fit.
Yeah, Bola Conradi. Good old Bola. Nice to see Bola in the picture there. Hy's 'n regte ou stalwart van WP Rugby. Mr. Wakey.
Ja, ek dink hy is
Jy ken hom al lank, né?
baie lank. Hy is die voorbeeld vir baie ouens, jy weet, as hulle uitgetree het dan kry hulle boepensies, helmets.
Wat is dit met sy kar dat hy daai license plate het, The Rock?
Dit is sy bynaam nog al die jare in die BP span gewees, The Rock, ja, en al die spelers spreek hom aan as The Rock. En dit is Bola Conradi, baie kleurvolle ou, baie nice om in 'n span te hê, jy weet, dis altyd aangenaam. Jy moet hom net nie duty boy maak nie.
Ek wou net
As jy hom duty boy maak, verdwyn hy soos mis voor die son.
The Rock. Dit is nou net ten minste in Afrikaans die Rock nie. You like to put on a rock every now and then, Ellen.
Why you got to do this?
We have to,
because it was
yeah.
Wales. No, but
Yeah.
Wales, that's Scotland.
The Wales thing.
No,
Let's
Wales.
not go
William
there.
Wallace.
All right, we're going to take a look now at the Community Cup fixtures, the first round fixtures, of course, that starts this coming weekend on the 21st of February. Kickoff time starting at 4 o'clock. It's Evergreens up against Worcester Villagers. Old Selbornians take on Durban. Rustenburg Impala, PE Police, Bloemfontein Crusaders take on the Raiders. Pretoria Police take on Noordlikkers. Shishen take on Hamiltons. Welkom Rovers are up against Dispatch, and Westbank are up against Ferros. All right, Sharky, this is your territory, the Community Cup. Hamiltons are up against Sishen. It's a home ground for Sishen. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's none of the guys really have played much. It's up north of Kimberley, if I'm not mistaken, or an hour and a half, outside, and it's gonna be an interesting travel. Fortunately, you know, it's just the sort of group stages and opening game.
How did Sishen do last year?
They made the finals, the final weekend. I'm not entirely sure on where they made it off.
They weren't really up there. So they went to the top of the pile. What about Old Selbornians? They take you on Durban. So it's away game for Durban as well.
Yeah, Durban actually had a look at that. They travel. They've got PE and East London on their travels, if I'm not mistaken, in their groups. And Old Selbornians, I'm not sure if they played last year. It might be their first time in the Community Cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's move along then. We move to the Community Challenge now, the first round fixtures. And of course, you would have been watching the show last week as we launched the Community Challenge. Vredenburg up against False Bay. This starts on Saturday, the 14th. It's Valentine's Day. Roses United up against Bellar. Saldanha against Paul. Never Despair against SK Warmers. And Horston take on Primrose. Incidentally, if you're not sure where Never Despair are from, it's the Malmesbury neck of the world. Ek sien Hilton is daar so by Malmesbury. Is it Hilton?
Hilton Adonis,
Yeah,
Never Despair.
Hilton Adonis, and he was on tour with me in '99 with the World Springboks in the World Cup. What a good man! I think Never Despair in good hands there. But what do you make of the Boerland teams, Lennon?
Yeah, I think Westbank and Never Despair are competing out of the same pool. I still think there's Abbotsdale as well, just further down the road.
What do you mean they're competing out of the same pool?
So the pool of players, like the local-based players. So they've got to. So if they can't in Malmesbury, they can't find what the coach is looking for, or the makeup of the team. Then they've got to go outside of Malmesbury, and outside of Malmesbury, there's not much. There's always good competition within 10, 15 kilometers of Malmesbury, the teams.
You know, we interviewed Mike Popmeyer, who's the captain of False Bay. He looks like a completely different breed this year. I mean, he was a star player last year, but he's an animal this year.
I remember Mike from when he was at Brookside Villager, and at that point you would think that he was retiring, and then he went to False Bay with Jono.
Yeah.
I think he went with Jono there, and then I thought, you know, Mike is just going there just to give back to the community. But then last year I saw him as he was like he was.
I tell you, when we saw him at the launch, he's in great condition. Now there's a lock that, you know, if he comes knocking on the door at Vodacom, if they ever need another lock, then definitely going to be in the mix there. Of course, the Paarl region are up against Saldanha. Now that's going to be a tough starting match, Mr. Wakefield.
Yeah, I won't be able to watch the match. We have a very important fixture on.
Yeah, it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it's also the birthday of my father-in-law.
Well, you're in trouble on every level.
Happy birthday! I won't see you on Saturday.
You know, he might say half a yard. I don't know why this man married my daughter.
Anyway, but I'm very excited about the Paarl region.
Yeah.
And reports I got from Paarl was that these guys are going all out. It's a great opportunity for them once again.
Yeah.
For the first time, really, the guys can say that we represented Paarl.
Now, I'll tell you
I'll
something.
be going there after the show now.
Yeah. We've caught up with the Paarl guys at the HPC, and we caught up with the Paarl guys again last year when they got their nutrition sorted out. They really are on track. I mean, they've been coming to the HPC year with Jerome. So I think we're going to see a good showing from the Paarl region. It's also a group of players, a little bit like Never Despair.
Yeah, definitely. And I think their hard work, their enthusiasm, you know, the fact that they can play together as a unit, Paarl representing Paarl, we can expect something good from them.
Yeah, what I really like about it, the fact is that sort of pride.
That's it.
Amper as hulle nou, hulle voel trots oor die Parel, die Parel is nie meer 'n dorpie nie. Dis amper as vir 'n klein provinces. Ja. Okay, then SK Warmers are up against Never Despair, as we mentioned. Primrose are going to take on Horston, and then Falsbay Freidenberg Belhar up against Roses United. Right, folks, we'll take an ad break, and after the ad break was Macassar Sevens results, the Varsity Cup results and fixtures, as well as Varsity Shield results and fixtures. Just a quick reminder, the Vasco Tavern, 33280, SMS the word Vasco. You see it on your screen right now. You win yourself a dinner voucher to the value of 250 Rand. SMS the word Vasco to 33280. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Macassar Sevens. We'll give you an opportunity to win yourself a dinner voucher to the value of 250 bucks to the Vasco Tavern. See you in a sec. Yes, it's a Portuguese fiesta. Come to the Vasco Tavern for a Portuguese fiesta. Another fiesta was at the Macassar Sevens. Now there's a tournament you want to get down to. Macassar Sevens results. Let's quickly look at those results. There it was, of course, at the Macassar Sports Ground over the weekend. Living Legends beating Grabo 35-0. In the semi-finals, in the second semi-final, it was Macassar beating Milnerton 24-12. And then in the final, the Living Legends beating Macassar 12 points to 7. Look at those fantastic logos there. Those are some of the teams that took part in the Macassar Sevens there. Strand Pioneers was up in the mix there. Strand Rugby Club. We see Milnerton, we see Belhar. And yeah, great to see those logos. Clubs, if you're out there, remember, send us your logos. It helps for TV purposes. And I'm asking you now, with the authority of the president of the Western Province Rugby Football Union, to send your logos to the Cape Rugby TV show. Of course, the names of your coaches and captains and managers, so that we can interview you on a regular basis. Am I right, Mr. Wakefield?
Yeah, no, they have to do that. It makes this show more lively, sort of.
Let's quickly look at the Varsity Cup fixtures. And you see now the jerseys. How fantastic is this now? Pucca, this was Monday night's results, at least in the Varsity Cup. 36-26 for Pucca over NMMU. Good win for them. Shimla's drawing with Tuks. 29-all. CUT going down to a UJ, 46 points to 10. Look at those beautiful jerseys. And then, of course, UCT at the Green Mile on a Monday night. 32-all. That was a close shave. All right, so let's quickly take a look at some of the action photographs in the match. UCT against Marty's. That was on Monday night at the Green Mile. Real, what do you call it? Derby day? That intervarsity. Intervarsity is the word I'm looking for. It's really. I mean, apparently it was sold out. There were just thousands and thousands of people, which is what you would have expected. Let's take a look at some of the photographs from the match. Quite an incredible game there. UCT, of course, the reigning champions of the Varsity Cup after an incredible game last year, winning it. Right, everybody got to see that game. Lyndon, your opinion?
The Varsity Cup on Monday or the final last year?
No, the Varsity Cup on Monday.
No, I think it was good. I saw the game on television. Something came up, I was going to go. What was good about the event of the first InterVarsity was sold out.
Yeah.
So I think that is what any coach or any team wants.
No, you mean or any commercial structure wants?
Well, I didn't say that. You did, so
yep,
I can't be quoted on that.
Could you say it again?
And then also,
the best of the best.
And then also it was a good showcase of rugby. I think
yeah.
it was good to see the two top universities in the Western Province.
Standout players for you?
Definitely JP Lewis old Paul Roy's boy.
Yeah.
Craig Barry as well, and then
Both Marty's players.
Both
huh?
Marty's
Both playing
players.
Marty's.
Both Marty's players. And then there were a couple of there was the one front ranker from UCT. He's an old Paul Jim boy, I think, big fellow. He played with the Blue Scrum Cap. I couldn't get his name.
Yeah.
He was also a big guy that stood up. And then Willem van der Sluis, Marty's the lock and the captain. They were pretty
Yeah,
good.
all the Marty's. Any standout players for UCT? No? Sharky?
Yeah, they and his name's escaped me now. The right winger for Marty's youngster. He's got a lot of gas.
With a load shedding hair.
Yeah.
Load shedding haircut.
And he's got a lot of gas, and he, to me, looked like a good option for an outside centre. I found out today that he is an outside centre, and they had to move him. On the day due to an injury. Lots of gas, big kid, fairly decent hands, and has a good understanding of the game. It seemed to me he looked pretty decent, so someone to look out for.
We know Kevin Musikant is coaching at UCT. Who's coaching Marty's this year? You know?
Chris Rousseau.
Is it still Chris Rousseau?
Chris Rousseau, they have quite a few coaches.
Yeah.
They do,
Marius
but-
Herter, Driekus Hanke.
Marius Hurt.
Marius Herter, yes, I saw him last night. He dropped a hell of a lot of weight. I don't know what he did. But anyway, Chris Rousseau is there. So, yeah, they've
got a good bunch.
quite a big bunch.
Yeah, big team, and Ikes as well. They've also got quite a big team of guys together. So.
Let's look at some of the Varsity Cup fixtures coming up now. NMMU are up against CUT in Port Elizabeth. UJ take on Similars next week in Johannesburg. Tuks are up against UCT. So UCT travel now to Pretoria. And then Marty's has got home ground advantage against Puka in Stellenbosch. Just looking at those teams there, Sharky, standout teams for you. I mean, we obviously have to back UCT considering the fact that they, that momentum, they would have taken that from last year. That confidence, they would have taken that from last year. And they've got consistency with the coaching side. That we've got to give them a chance.
Yeah, definitely. And I thought a good game yesterday and a great season last season was NMMU. I thought they're unlucky. They had momentum last night, and a yellow card which turned into a red kind of affected their game quite heavily. Puka you can't write off ever, and neither can you do with Stellenbosch. But interestingly enough, Shimla's they've got a number of guys who started last night that actually played Currie Cup last year.
Really?
Yeah, they were in the squad. So they've
For
got quite a bit of experience.
I have a problem
there.
with that. I have a problem with this professional rugby players. I mean, where's the development here? How many doors are we shutting? Because, and look, I might be wrong. I know the management of rugby, the world of rugby, and so forth might have different schools of thought on it. But if I look at the club rugby structure, imagine if there was a professional guy blocking the way of a club rugby guy who's coming through the ranks. I don't know, Mr. Wakefield, you're more experienced in the world of these political things. How do you feel? Where does one stand on that? Or what's the right way to think about it?
Look, this thing actually reared its head when Marty's lost against Tuks at Stellenbosch 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When the Tuks team was actually loaded with players from the Bulls, and I think that game actually changed the rules. But now you must be a bona fide student, and also you must have a certain amount of credits to be selected in this team. But I think the rules are silent on where you play. If you're a professional rugby player, I don't know whether you can play. They need to refine the rules in order to make it totally amateur.
Yeah,
but I think it's tough, especially, well, not tough. I think Turkeys, they could argue, because I know the Turkeys draw from the Bulls setup, or the Bulls will recruit and then the Turkeys will spill over. Same with the coaches. I think Shimlas are the same with the Free State. So you'll find this going in. But I also think that you've got to draw the line somewhere.
But this just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I look at some of these guys, and the concept is that some of these guys are going to play for the Bulls one day. Not the other way around, that the Bulls one day are going to play for the varsity one day. How does this work?
Well, conversely, say you had an exceptionally good varsity cup, and we're seeing it more and more now, where guys on varsity cup are being pushed into the provincial sides because they're getting more exposure. So they have a good season and they pushed into the setup, whether it's amateur ranks, and then there's a few injuries with the Currie Cup, no Springboks allowed. So you've got to fill up the gaps, and the guys come into the setup and say they sit on the bench or they represent provincial side, you shouldn't be then exclude them from playing varsity cup if they qualify the next year. So it's how it. I think it's more the how than the why.
There's no development there. It's a downward track. But you know, you're taking a guy who's never going to play for the Currie Cup again, or he's moved on. I mean, what's next? Next, we'll be taking senior Bulls players who played in the Bulls team and put them in the under 21 side.
But I think we should.
And then they might win the Currie Cup under 21 side because they've taken the senior. You guys are nowhere near with me, are you?
No, I am.
Do you remember the fact that last year the Bulls dropped out, so they shoved all their senior players into the Bulls under 21 team. So they didn't really have a proper under 21 team who beat us at Newlands. They had a senior team who beat our under 21.
Because their seniors were out of the competition already, so they fell in there. And I think also it boils down to what the coach wants for. I think some coaches just look over and above what. Because I know there was a couple of years back where there was a huge thing at Turkish where they brought in the credit system. You need to be a student. I knew a few guys who couldn't even get a university acceptance, let alone, you know. So I don't know how that works.
Okay, anyway, there's we all have our different thoughts on that. Let's quickly look at the Varsity Shield results now. UKZN beating TUT over the week, at least on Monday night, 68 points to 5, a monster win there, and then Fort Hare going down to Wits, 24 points to 42. In the Shield, the Thursday round fixtures, that's tomorrow night. UKZN take on Wits, and then UWC are playing away against TUT. We'll take an ad break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the SA Rugby Awards, which happened, of course, on a Sunday night. And we'll take a look at your Super Brew predictions in the Super 15. Back in a sec. So don't forget that opportunity to win yourself a dinner for 250 Rand at the Vasco Tavern. Congratulations to last week's winner, Brian Dreyer. You're going to go and experience for yourself a lekker dinner for 250 bucks at the Vasco Tavern. And there's someone...
JP, I think I know this man.
Ken you for Brian Dreyer?
Yes, years ago he played lock for... City and Suburban.
Really?
He's quite a big guy. I think it should be a voucher of 500 Rand.
So
anyway, Brian, enjoy it.
So Brian's going to have a couple of espatadas there. Listen, let's quickly talk about the SA Rugby Awards before we go to the Super 15, where we'll take a look at the fixtures. Of course, we've got that Super Brew panel running. Jump on the Cape Rugby TV Super Brew panel now. You've only got 2 days left to sign up because the Super 15 starts on Friday morning. All right, Mr. Wakefield, you went up there on Friday. It was very exciting. Obviously good for Western Province. Dwayne Vermeulen walks away. Once again, Player of the Year. I mean, he was IRB nominee.
Yeah, I went up there Sunday morning. And in fact, I said I'll give this one a miss because I know that I'll be very busy over weekends now. And suddenly I got the call from Saru, but you have to be there. So I thought it's a must for all presidents to be there. And I just went up there not knowing and expecting anything. So, yeah, the awards were made, and I'm very glad for Dwayne Vermeulen. He made a very moving speech towards the end on accepting the award. And that actually gave me more respect for the man.
Really, that's fantastic. Nizam Kar, once again getting recognition for his performance.
Yeah, you know, something else about Nizam. I wasn't worried about the award, really. I was just having a look at him. He looks so bloody smart and I Springbok badge.
Oh, yeah.
And that really caught my eye.
En maak die mense am trots, né?
Absolutely. You know, the award is nothing, but something that he really worked for and that he really worked hard for. He has achieved that, played a fantastic game on tour, actually saved the game for the Springboks. And yeah, he got up with his Springbok jacket. It made me so.
And Siabela Senatla is, of course, on tour with the Sevens at the moment. He wasn't able to accept his award, but he was the Sevens Player of the Year.
Yeah. What an exciting,
very
exciting player, really.
And then on a final note, and this trophy that we saw on that you've managed to pronk with so lekker, this is the trophy of the Team of the Year. So Western Province being the Team of the Year for 2014.
Yeah, definitely. I think we really deserve this, and like I said, I'd like to dedicate this to Alistair and his team, his support staff. And to the people of Cape Town, I think...
nice little trophy.
It's a very nice trophy, and it's a nice honor. It's a good honor, you know.
Definitely,
It's a nice award. Makes you feel good, you know.
Just goes to show where Western Province sits in the hearts and minds of the people as well. These professional players, are they able to keep their feet in the ground and stay normal?
Yeah, it depends on who the person is. But Dwayne Vermeulen, you know, for the best in the world, basically, to cry on the stage, you know, after talking about his father. Dwayne will always remain just
He's one of those guys that no matter where you are, he's always friendly.
Yeah, the guys at Western Province, I go with him every week when we play away. I visit him at the HPC. You talk to a player like Nizam Khan, Mr. Humble himself, you know, Damien Dillon.
Oh, of course, Damien Dillon as well, yeah. The guys, we've had a great run Western Province. Let's quickly look at the Super 15 that's coming up this weekend. And, of course, it's the Crusaders on Friday, starting at 8:35 in Christchurch. Crusaders take on the Rebels. Then it's the Brumbies up against the Reds in Canberra at 22:11. Then on Friday, still in the evening in Johannesburg, Lions up against the Hurricanes. Of course, Johan Ackerman winning Coach of the Year as well at the Saru Awards. The Blues take on the Chiefs on Saturday morning at 8:35 in Albany. The Sharks up against the Cheetahs in Durban. That's at 5 o'clock in the evening. And then the Bulls take on the DHL Stormers. Way advantage for the DHL Stormers in Pretoria, and then the Waratahs are up against the Western Force in Sydney on Sunday morning. So it's away advantage for the Stormers.
Yeah, the time of the match is a bit problematic.
7:10.
7:10. It's a late game. You have to keep the players busy during the day, and
yeah, and then in Pretoria there's not
10:07 game is very
nothing to do now.
Absolutely. Don't want for 20 minutes.
Sharky, thanks for joining us. Good luck at Hammies. We know that you guys hit in the Community Cup soon.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was good being here again.
Lekker chatty, ja. Lyndon Julies, alles die beste van jou kant, meneer. Dank je weer voor ons gejoined het. And we look to see both of you on the show soon.
Baie dankie meneer Nadia, meneer Wakefield. Sharky, thanks for this evening. Been good.
And Mr. Wakefield, we completely ran out of time, but the next time we get you on the show, we're going to talk a little bit about your Bosbarat and all your planning for the year, and there's a whole lot of stuff, structures and planning at Western Province.
Absolutely. It's important for the people to know what we're busy with.
Lekker. Nice chatting with you guys. Been a fantastic show this evening. Love the geest, love the vibe. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap from us. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Don't forget, join us on Super Brew. Put in your predictions. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. And don't forget, go and support the Stormers and support your club rugby players. Bye-bye.